Okay, good evening, everybody. We are live. My name's Lindsay, and you are signed up for movement and meditation. So I have some music going in the background. If you can't hear it, or if you would like to put on your own playlist, you can find the one that I'm using under my name on Spotify. It's Lindsay Mallers. And the playlist is the very first one I have listed, which is movement and meditation. So I have props here just because I like them when I practice. They aren't really necessary unless you really want them. I have a couple blocks, I have pillows. So just whatever you have, kind of lying around that can help support you in this will be very helpful. So we're just going to start in a seated meditation. So just find a comfortable position. And just let your eyes close. Or even just soften your gaze. And just give yourselves the first couple of minutes here just to connect with your breath. And maybe that means taking a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And just take a moment to feel the strength of your body. And to feel the lightness of your breath. Notice the parts of your body that are touching the ground. And just let your awareness rest in those places. Your sitting bones, your hips, your legs, your feet. And just take a moment to stretch the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Create space between each and every vertebra. Go ahead and relax your shoulders and relax your jaw. Let's take about 5 more breaths here, slow and easy. Eyes are closed, gently blink your eyes open. Make your way into a tabletop pose. I'm going to adjust the volume on this a little bit. So from your tabletop pose, let's begin with a simple cat-cow flow. So as you inhale, tilt your tailbone up, widen your collarbones, look up. And as you exhale, gently tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, breathe out. Begin to open and close your spine. And let the rhythm of your breath guide these movements. Now I encourage you to slow down your breath. Take deeper breaths so you can slow down the movements and take your time to feel what's happening in your joints, through your spine, your shoulders, your hips. And feel free to move in different ways here. So maybe you want to wag your tail or take some barrel rolls, shoulder rolls, head rolls. Pay attention to where you feel the stress and tension that has collected in your body. And use these movements in your breath just to clear that, open it, stretch it, release it. Let's take a few more breaths here. Just find that organic movement and listen to what your body needs this evening. And we're going to take a spinal balance. So extend your right leg back behind you. Internally rotate your right thigh, so your right inner thigh is rolling up towards the ceiling. Extend your left arm out in front of you. So press firmly into your right hand. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. There's a tendency to let our back arch here. Try not to do that. Pull your core in and lift your right leg up as high as you can without arching your back. So keep your hips stable. Lift your right leg up a little bit higher. Left arm comes up. Bicep up towards your ear. At least that's the direction you're going. Wrap your muscles around your bones. Begin to build a little heat here. Take 3 more breaths. And then on an exhale, lower your left hand down and lightly step your right foot up to the outside of your right hand. And just come into a low lunge here. If you want blocks, spring blocks too. We're going to move in this a little bit. It's a movement in meditation. So in many of these postures, I just invite you to kind of free flow and use this time and space to create more space in your joints. So gently rock your hips back and forth, just alternating between opening up the back of your right hamstring and the front of your left thigh. And then once you straighten your right leg, pause, flex your right foot, and lengthen your spine. Begin to forward fold. So the aim here is to gently tilt your pelvis forward, flare your tailbone back, and just lengthen out your spine. Stretch the crown of your head, your heart forward. So you just feel the back side of your leg and your back just begin to open up. 3 more breaths. Place your foot back down, rebend your right knee. Turn your right toes out at a 45-degree angle and gently roll onto the outer blade of your right foot. So same thing, just move your hips front to back, slow and easy. If you feel a strain on your knee, you don't have to turn your foot out or even move your hips, but we're just slowly warming up the joints. Maybe even take some small circular movements. And then once you rebend your knee, just pause here and hold this. And reach your right arm up. Just for a few breaths. Begin to sink into this. At the same time, engage your core and even engage your left glute. That will signal your left hip flexor to open and soften, release. One more breath here. And then on an exhale, lower your hands down. Step your right foot back. We're going to come into a supported side plank pose. Kick your left foot back. Open up your right arm and stretch your fingertips away from your right foot. Go ahead and lift up your right leg. Now if you want to take a regular plank pose for several breaths here while we hold this, go ahead. You can straighten your bottom leg. But even if you're on your knee, you can find the strength in this. Firm up your right thigh. Lift your right femur, your right bone up a little bit more. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. And then bend your right knee and step your right toes back, so we're taking a supported wild thing here. And roll your chest up towards the ceiling. Stretch your fingertips back and just open up. Really feel the right side of your body open. Push the ground away from you and just arch in this. Take advantage of your right lung being open and breathe in it. Emphasize your breath in your right lung. One more cycle of breath here. And then on an exhale, make your way out of this. Straighten your leg back behind you. And then bring it over to the left. Plant the ball of your left foot off the mat here. And turn to look over your left shoulder over at your right heel. So now we're opening up the right side of the body, the lower back a little bit more. One more breath here, please. And lift your right leg up. Cross your right knee behind your left knee. Step your feet apart. And sit back into a child's pose, but with crossed legs. I can't really sink into this because I have this pregnant belly in the way. But all that really matters is you let your hips drop back. Perhaps you want to rest your forehead on a block if you have one nearby, or just keep your head lifted. Drop your weight evenly through your right hip and your left hip. Take 3 more breaths here. And then gently make your way up. Come back into a tabletop pose. Let's return to cat-cow, but this time, flip your palms so your fingertips are facing your knees. And just find some movement here. You might feel like your movement is limited because of the placement of your hands. It's okay. It should feel different than how we typically take cat-cow. Return to a tabletop pose. And this time we're going to take spinal balance with our left leg behind us. So really find the strength of this shape. Rotate your left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Hug yourself closer to the midline of your body. So hugging towards the midline of your body, reach your right arm forward. So keep your spine long and strong. Don't over tilt your pelvis, but lift your left leg up a little bit more. Engage your left hamstring, your left glute. Strong through your right arm, 2 more breaths. And then exhale, lower your right hand down. Step your left foot up to the outside of your left hand. And again, we'll just gently move our hips front to back. And this is your time just to explore, open up, see what's happening through your left leg, your right hip. You can take it at a quicker pace, sort of like how I'm doing, or maybe you just want to pause and hang out in each shape. And then when you straighten your left leg, flex your left foot. Take a moment to lengthen out your spine. And use this time to bring your torso a little bit closer to your left leg. So when we pause in these shapes, really take a moment to try to align your awareness with your breath as much as you can. Feel what's happening here. 2 more cycles of breath. Lift up your hips. Bend your left knee. Turn your left foot out at about a 45-degree angle and roll up onto the outer blade of your left foot. And just let your hips gently come forward. And again, if you'd like to find a rocking motion, just feel how we're just creating space through our hip joint here. Moving in and out of this shape. And with these repetitive movements, we're actually lubricating the joints. And then pause and get into this. Take a moment to settle in. Feel your hips get heavy, but lift up through your chest and twist open in this. Two more breaths. Find space and breathe into it. And then exhale, lower your hands down. Step your left foot back, please. We'll find a supported side plank pose. And you can kick your foot back and reach your left fingertips up and over. Of course, you can keep your left foot on the ground or lift it up, or take a full side plank pose if you want to add a little more strength to this one. So really work this muscle around here. Lift up that left leg. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. And then bend your left knee. Bring your left foot down and open this up for a supported wild thing. So now you're turning your chest, your hips towards the ceiling. Maybe even stretch your arm back. And again, breathe. Really breathe into this left lung. Get into the lowest lobe of your lung. And just feel your respiration as it moves in and out of your body. And then exhale, lower your left hand down. Straighten your back leg back behind you. And then we're just gonna wag our tail a little bit. Cross it over so it comes off the mat onto the floor. And turn your chest, your gaze towards the right, over your right shoulder. And try to dig into the knuckle under your left big toe. Sometimes we kind of let our foot sickle. Line your heel up over the ball of your foot and press into the ball of your foot. Rotate a couple more breaths. And then bring your chest back through center. Cross your left knee behind your right. Walk your feet apart from each other. Sit back into this cross-legged child's pose. Maybe move your hips a little. Just take advantage of the weight of your pelvis. Let it get heavy. more breath. And then lift yourself up. Uncross your knees. Come back into this tabletop pose, but walk your hands forward and drop your chest down. So you're taking heart melting pose. Maybe gently shift from side to side. And we're gonna move in this a little bit. So lift up your chest, your hips, come forward into an up dog variation. Use the strength of your core to assist your hips up. Come back. So it's just like a moving cat-cow. And just undulate your spine. As you take these movements, try to articulate each and every vertebra. And the next time you lift up your hips and exhale, please tuck your toes and make your way into a downward dog. We will be here for several breaths. So I encourage you to find stillness, and I encourage you to also find movement. Pedal out your feet. Shift your weight from side to side, front to back. Wag your tail. And at some point, please take a big deep breath in through your nose. Your deepest breath yet. Open up your mouth, exhale, release it all out. One more time. Full inhale. And a complete exhale. Let's take a slow walk to the top of the mat. So step by step. So you feel this through the backs of your legs. And we're gonna just come right into a yogi squat. So you can always sit on a block or a pillow if you want. It's okay if your heels don't touch the ground. You can straighten your arms out in front of you or bring your hands to your chest. Even rock from side to side or just be still and let your hips get heavy. We'll take 5 breaths here. And just relax your low back, let your pelvis get heavy. But gently stretch out through the crown of your head. Lengthen out the back of your neck and lift your heart center. If your elbows meet your knees, gently push your knees away from each other with your elbows. And then release your hands. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes in. Hang out in this forward fold for 3 deep breaths, but slow your breath down. If you'd like to sway from side to side, just feel the difference between your right side and your left side as you move. Take the wrinkles out of the back of your neck, let your head get heavy. Put a soft bend in your knees, please, and slowly rise up vertebra by vertebra. Your head will come last. And when you rise up, roll your shoulders back. And just take a moment in Tadasana. Palms facing forward. Root down through your feet. Firm up your thighs. Stretch up through the crown of your head. And take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. One more time. If your feet are apart, please bring them together. Bring your hands to your heart together. And step your right foot back. Come right into a warrior one. So gently rotate your hips towards the front. Reach your arms up. So find a nice bend in your left knee. If you need to take, a moment or two to adjust yourself in this, take whatever time you need. And once you find your alignment, just settle in. Reach your right arm up, your left arm behind you, and bend your elbows. Your fingertips might touch. If they do, try to bring them together and take a bind, or you can just grab onto your shirt or a towel if you have one handy. We're only going to be here for a few breaths. Lift up through your chest. Bend your left knee, straighten your back leg as much as possible. 3 deep breaths. Release your arms, bring them back up towards the ceiling, and then on an exhale, open this up into a warrior two. So you might have to open up your feet a little bit more just to get into this a little bit deeper. Try to take up space on your mat. Bend your left knee. Stretch your arms away from you. Turn your gaze over your left hand. We're only here for a few breaths. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, make your way into triangle pose. So reach towards that wall or whatever's to the left of you, and then side bend to the left. So option to use a block here. Firm up your muscles around your thighs. Stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. Find the strength of this shape. Everything's working here. 2 more breaths. Put a soft bend in your left knee. Lift yourself up. And turn your toes towards the front. I'm going to shorten my stance a little bit for a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your hands behind you to take a bind. Intertwine your fingers. And notice what thumb is on top, because we're going to switch it next time. Inhale, lift up through your chest and your heart, and exhale, forward fold. Take that bind with you. Maybe straighten your arms as much as you can, and keep lifting that bind up off of your low back away from you. So you feel a nice compression through your shoulders. Nothing too pinchy, but a nice compression. Slow down your breath here, please, for 3 more cycles of breath. Release the bind and walk yourself over. So you're forward folding over your left leg. Just accentuate this stretch, this opening through the left side. Take the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. 1 more breath. And then we'll ease our way into Skandasana. Bend your left knee. And there are options here. You can reach your toes up towards the ceiling or even roll inward. Maybe roll back and forth again, creating space in your hip. Reach your right arm up. Bend your right elbow. The back of your right hand comes to your low back and rotate open. If your left hand is on the ground, press into the ground to stabilize yourself so you can twist. Roll your right shoulder back. 3 breaths. And then release your right hand down. Lift lift up your hips. Walk yourself towards your right foot now. Set yourself for warrior one on the right side now. We're just going to take this on the other side. Bend your right knee. Reach your arms up. Take a moment to get adjusted in this shape, please. And when you have your lower body set up, bring your right hand behind you and bend your left elbow, your right elbow. Possibly take the bind. So feel the strength, the stability of your body. And even in this stillness, feel the movement, which is your breath, maybe even the movement of your mind. 2 more breaths. And release your arms up. And exhale. Open this up into a warrior two on the right side. Toe heel your feet apart. Make any necessary adjustments. We have a few breaths here. Connect with your stillness. Connect with your movement. On an inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, make your way into triangle pose. No matter what you're doing in your yoga practice, no matter what shape you're taking, you can always find stillness. You can always find movement. Both of these sensations happen simultaneously within us. 1 more breath. Put a soft bend in your right knee. Lift yourself up. Turn your toes in. Shorten your stance if you need to. Bring your hands behind you to take the bind. Put the opposite thumb on top, so it might feel a little awkward. Inhale, lift up through your chest. And exhale, forward fold. One more slow, deep breath. Let your shoulder blades get heavy. Let your head get heavy. Straighten your arms a tad more. And then exhale, release the bind. Take a forward fold over your right leg. On your next exhale, bend your right knee, come into Skandasana. Once you feel steady here, root your right hand down. Left arm comes up, rotate. Bend your left elbow. And roll your shoulder into this. Take advantage of the parts of your body that are connected to the earth. Use those places to stabilize you as you open and open, open, twist. And release your left arm. Bring it back down to the earth. Keep your hips low as you walk yourself back around. Frame your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Come into a high plank pose. Option to come to your knees. Let's take a Chaturanga Dandasana. Take a few deep breaths here, please. And we're going to make our way onto our seats. And you might want some pillows or a block for this. I'm just going to stretch a little bit more. We're going to take double pigeon pose. Now, if this is very uncomfortable on your hips, you can just take a regular cross-legged pose. We're going to stack our outer right ankle to the inside of our left knee. And if you look down at your legs, you want to have your right leg directly over your left leg. So it's like you're seeing almost a perfect triangle. If your hips are coming off, I encourage you to bring a blanket or something underneath your right hip too. So just take a moment to let your hips adapt to this. This is one of those shapes that in time, your muscles and the tissues will soften a little bit, but you just have to be patient. So let's bring our left elbow underneath our right for eagle arms. Palms pressed together or backs of hands. And just lift and lower your elbows a couple of times. And as you do this, spread your shoulder blades apart. Whatever part of your hands are touching, whether it's the backs of your hands or your palms, press those places together. Just a little bit of movement. Maybe make some circles with your elbows. You can even drop your head from side to side. We're getting into our upper shoulders and even our neck, upper back. And then just pause here. 3 deep breaths. And release your arms. And reach your left arm up and side bend to the right. So your left sitting bone is anchored down and you're reaching, reaching, reaching. So open up the whole left side of your body. And then rotate your chest down, left hand comes down, and we're gently going to walk ourselves into this forward fold. Use your inhales to create space. Use your exhales to connect with this shape a little bit more. Let your hips get heavy. Let your chest get heavy. And listen to your body, but maybe you can just gradually drop into this a little bit more. And on an inhale, slowly rise up. So be gentle with yourself as you come out of this. We're just going to open up our legs and take a straddle pose. And if you would like some sort of padding in front of you, then grab that. And try flexing your feet. Let's make this a little bit more active. And of course, if that's too intense on your joints, then just let your feet relax. And slowly walk your way into this, either with your hands or maybe even on your forearms and your elbows. Let them come forward a little bit more. We're only here for a few breaths. So please just tune into the rhythm of your breath. This will keep you present and connected to the shape. And slowly rise up, make your way back out of this. And we'll come back into double pigeon this time. Our left leg will be on top. Bring your outer ankle to the inside of your right knee. And just settle into your left hip. And this side will probably feel different, maybe by a lot, maybe by a little. But prop yourself accordingly if you need to. This time bring your right elbow underneath your left elbow for eagle arms. again, small movements. Bring your elbows up and down, maybe across. Press your hands together and just feel the back of your heart open up with this shape. Spread your shoulder blades apart. And feel your inhale reach all the way up into your upper back. Breathe in. Breathe into the back of your lungs and just feel that stretch. One more breath. And then release the bind. This time your right arm comes up and we side bend to the left. So as you do this, make sure that your right sit bone is anchored into the ground as you reach and lengthen. So we're not going to forward fold into this yet. So really try to stack your shoulders and open up your heart here. Deep breath in your right lung. And then lower your right hand down and begin to forward fold. In all of these shapes, we take them breath by breath. So work with your body, don't force your way into this stretch. Just let your tissues kind of open up. It's a slow, warm invitation to go a little bit deeper. One more deep breath here, please. And then begin to lift yourself up. And just take your time as you come out of this. And plant your feet down in front of you. Open up your feet and your knees. And just move from side to side. So we're going to set up for a couple of minutes of meditation. So if you'd like to sit on a block, I'm going to turn off my music. And just get yourself into a comfortable seated position. So you can sit on your heels or just cross-legged position. And your nice new hips. And we'll just take a few minutes of quiet and stillness just to seal our practice. So in most of my classes, I always try to remind everybody of just these forces of stability and fluidity that are always dancing within us. So get very connected to your sitting bones. Feel the pillar of your spine, long, strong spine. And stack your shoulders over your hips, the crown of your head over your pelvic bowl. And just feel the density and the strength of your tissues that are supporting this shape. And feel the stability and the strength of the ground that is holding you. And just cultivate a strong mind by focusing on your breath. Feel your breath as it comes in through your nose, and feel your breath as it leaves your body. While you're connected to the stability and strength of your body, your home, feel the flow, the fluidity, the movement of your breath, your heartbeat, your blood, your mind. And anytime you feel like you need to root yourself, ground yourself, lean into the stability and the strength within you. And anytime you need inspiration and the need to feel lighter, more open, feel the prana within you, this movement, this life force, always moving, always changing. So feel free to take Shavasana or stay in a seated meditation. Give yourself the gift of rest and stillness. Thank you so much for practicing tonight. It was a pleasure. I can't wait to see you in person. Namaste.